Oh, look, to get on the plane and come up, and the conditions out there were, it was very humid for both teams. So to come up and win away is always a good thing for us. Our record away is just starting to improve over the last 12 months. So it was pleasing that we came up and come away with a win. I mean, the conditions were pretty tough, particularly the humidity, and I think both teams at times looked like they were almost out on their feet at times. And I reckon the conditions were certainly the major reason for that.
What about the way you boys played today? Was that an improvement?
I think there were patches where there was improvement, yeah, but again, I reckon third quarter we didn't win the quarter. That was disappointing not to have won all 4 quarters. We finished off well, and I think our fitness and our run to the end was good, and to score what we did in the last quarter was pleasing. But I think they kicked the first 2 goals, I think, of the game, which again that first 2 or 3 minutes was disappointing. But the boys hung in there, and the result was very good for us to come up here and win. I mean, it was still a good result. You still get 4 points for it.
What happened in that third quarter? What was the breakdown you saw?
I think some of our decision making with our kicking let us down. I think we had some intercept marks. We turned the ball over kicking from in the half forward area, which was disappointing. They rebounded well and created some opportunities to score.
For the decision for kicking, was it they go against the game plan?
I think when you're in the conditions you are, executing kicking is important anyway at any stage all the time. So I think our execution of the skill was probably turned the ball over a little bit too often in the third quarter.
Dean, it wasn't a particularly pleasant game to watch. There was a lot of mistakes. Is there something about when you play against an opposition that are young and inexperienced that tends to bring the whole level of the game down?
Again, I mean, we're all sitting in the room here. None of us have played out there and experienced the humidity that they played in. So, I think we need to give them an out, if you like, from the conditions they've played in. But no, I mean, there wasn't too many great phases of playing the game where the ball moved incredibly quickly from one point to the other. No, I don't think so. I think there was some pressure around the stoppers. We knew that they were a good stoppage team, and I think at times we let ourselves down in that area. But I think young Smith's going to be a superstar of the competition. He's tall, he's athletic, he's super impressive. I mean, Swallow's going to be a terrific player anyway, but I just think the big bloke's going to be something special. So at the stoppages, we wanted to break even or win it. I just thought that at times they got some free ball out of there, uncontested at times. So the look of the game you can write about, but we've come up and we've won and we've got 4 points. So we'll do that anywhere, I hope.
The game plan's been a bit of a talking point this week. I'm interested to hear Paul Roos's comments in particular, saying that sort of you're attacking through the corridor and defending too far behind, where it seems today that you were very boundary line centric and tried to push up. Is your game plan sort of been misrepresented? Is that fair? Is that the way you want to play footy, around the boundary line and press up like a lot of other teams are doing? We want
to press up. In order to press up, you've got to get the ball inside your forward 50. So to get the ball in your forward 50, if you can go to stoppage in your forward 50, then you can press up. If you can take a mark in the forward line on your forward 50 or create a lot of pressure that goes to stoppage or goes to a turnover outside your forward 50, then you can press up. If the ball's in your back 50 too much, then you've got to get the ball out of your back 50 more often. We want the game, like all clubs, we want the game played in our front half.
Do you have the capable to keep the ball in the forward line?
Well, the argument is whether when we get it in the forward line, can we pressure and keep it in there? We've got a couple of small blokes in there, Wanamiri, and we had Bennell down there. In the second half, we used Aaron Moore in that role to try and keep the ball in the forward line. I think a couple of times we probably needed, when we had Mark Jamar down, there's a long target there. We didn't really crumb off the ball, crumb off his contest. We missed probably 3 or 4 opportunities to score off his contest. So getting Russian down there is obviously something that we'd like to do, so we can get it in deeper, so we can get it to 0 to 25, and then hopefully contest closer to our goals. I mean, that really is what we're trying to achieve. But at the moment, teams are going in the first 2 or 3 weeks. Teams are going inside 50 too much against us. So it's all our ball movements out of our back half rather than inside 50 and holding it in there.
Did you bite the ball at some stages, play the 2 ruckmen out of deep in the forward line, change it to try and have a target?
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we've had Martin and J-Mas change forward, so we'll just keep doing it, and we just got to keep looking a little bit longer. We've got good leading marking forwards up there, but that big bloke out of the square, even late in the game, like Mark did today, was something we've just got to keep progressing. We've drafted some young talls that are hopefully going to fill that spot. So we've got to persist with what we've got, but we certainly need to improve in that area.
So that's not deliberate, that getting, defending as in the back half specifically, as it has been portrayed this week.
No.
Were you missed by that at all? This sort of talk that
Oh.
if your game plan's being portrayed.
Yeah, but if you look at the stat that Ruzi pulled out said that we're defending too much. Well, we are. We're defending too much out of a back 50, but we're not trying to score from back 50. I mean, about 10 or 12% of scores come from your defensive 50. Well, we're not going to play a game where 10 to 12% of our scoring is going to be in our back 50. It's just incorrect.
You're confident that this game plan yours is going to stand up to finals pressure? You also said you didn't think it stood up to a finals football. It wasn't a finals footy brand.
So who said that?
Paul Rose.
But we're not trying to play that way. We're trying to play, like I said to you, inside our front half, get the ball inside our forward 50 more and be able to hold the ball in our front half of the ground. That's what we're trying to achieve. At the moment, we're defending too much out of our back 50.
Is that too much expectation on Melbourne, Dean, after last year?
Is there
Too much expectation that you're going to improve and maybe go 2, 3, 4 rungs up the ladder at least?
Oh, we're going to put games into, today we had Gisbert's play another game. He's played 2 this year. I think that's 5, I reckon, off the top of my head. Tapscott's only played, 4 games so far. He's shown that he's got some ability for us down there, Tappy. I think Cole Garland's played 44 games. Liam Jarrah's only played, 20, at this stage. So games into our players is important to get their continuity so that, more games they get to play with each other, the more synergy they create. So we've just got to keep putting games into players, but they've got to earn the right to play. It's not a matter of just handing them a game as well.
Heading to the bye 2-1, are you necessarily happy or unhappy with your start to the season?
Oh, I think what we've got now is the bye comes for us to look at the last 4 weeks and try and create or continue to execute what we're trying to do, which is the things that I've just said to you before. We've got to be better at the stoppage, and we've got to be our kicks inside 50 at the moment are probably a little bit too shallow. They're only going to 40 to 50 at times. Not so much today, but certainly the last couple of weeks. We need that bigger marking player up forward for us, and we need to hold the ball in our forward line. I mean, we'll continue to execute that. And ensure that our contested possession count is ahead of our opposition. I mean, they're the things that we've been working on, and we've just got to get better in that area.
Have you got a big marking forward though in there? What can you use besides the 2 runners?
Well, J-Mar and Martin are the 2. I mean, the other option that we've got is probably a couple of the young blokes, or we swing a defender down there. I mean, Watsy today's playing the last quarter. He is a marking forward at 196, but he's we're trying to feed him up as much as we can to get another 4 or 5 kilos on him, which he is improving in. But Liam Jarrah's your third type of player rather than your only player who can lead up and mark the footy. So that is a position I think we need to fill. And at the moment we're trialling more Martin and J-Mar in those roles. So we'll keep looking at what we've got, and hopefully we can find one. But we've drafted 3 or 4 blokes, and they're just going to take a little bit of time. Some of them. Fitzpatrick's a young guy who's playing in the reserves. We've got guys like, even Maxi Gawn, who we've got as a ruckman at 208 centimetres. He's showing some form at the VFL level, but they're not going to walk in next week and play that big, tall role. So the risk not the risk, but the risk and reward will be that Mark J-Mar might need to spend more time as that long marking forward, and Martin becomes that ruckman, which is what we've been doing.
You took Jarrah off today.
Yep.
Tigers, was he sore or injured?
Oh, we just thought that Jack Watts could come on and give us a spark in the forward line, and Liam had struggled a little bit, but keeping him on, saving him if you like, and we had to change him with someone, Watsy, so LJ was the obvious choice.
He hadn't got hurt. He looked to come off in the second quarter, hurt himself a bit, but I take it from what you're saying, there was nothing in that.
No, I'm not aware of him being injured or anything. No.
Then we try a similar thing for the West Coast game. Can I go over there today for the?
Yep. Yeah, we'll go over to Perth and that extra time over there, which is what we normally do. We don't normally come up the day like we did here, but we're able to train on the Gabba, which when you travel interstate, you like to at least get a session on the ground you're about to play on. And luckily for us, the groundsman, if you like, the Gabba Trustee, allowed us to have our main training session up here, which we haven't done before, but we thought that was really beneficial for our players to get that experience, actually, training on the ground, not just the last session where it's almost just a warm-up and kick for goal sort of thing. So we'll do the similar sort of thing over in Perth.
Are you surprised to see cricket